Bonjour, everybody. That's going on to a theme, isn't it?
Well, yes, but let's keep it English, shall we? Since I don't know about your accent, but mine's always been awful.
Mine's awful. I was going to borrow Yannick's beret for this as well, but...
Poor Martin.
Oh dear. We need to talk about Dine at Home for our 5th week.
Yes, our 5th week.
Wow. They've been busy.
Yeah, it's getting better, busier.
They've been
So
busy.
yeah, thank you very much for the business.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been, well, last week was probably one of the busiest we've done.
Yep. And just a reminder to everybody that because it's Dine at Home rather than date night, the food is ready for you to collect whenever you want on the day that you've booked it. So don't be expecting any phone calls unless we'll only ring you if you have an issue. So just please turn up on the day. Because I know that a few people are used to having a date night and they were expecting a call. It does say it on the website, but we realise there's a lot of information, so people have missed it.
Yeah. So, on the menu this week, we have French onion soup with a cheesy Gruyere crouton. We have terrine de lapin, canard, which is your rabbit and duck terrine.
Which is, you want to talk about this one, don't you?
Well, yeah, so it was fascinating watching Chef do this, but he basically de-skinned a duck, removed the fat, and then basically used that as the outside of the mould. When you put your force meat into this duck leg, there's rabbit loin in there.
So he literally took the skin off,
Yeah.
and then he put that around the mould,
Yeah.
and then he put the actual
Meat inside, and then baked it that way. So you got some nice crispy skin on the outside once it's been torched. We've got quiche Lorraine, the classic bacon and Gruyere cheese quiche. We've got Provençal tart with aubergine, tomato and olive. And then for sides, we've got pea fricassee with bacon lardons. So a nice sauté of bacon, cream and bacon and peas. We've got ratatouille, classic, which is our vegan and gluten-free alternative. And then main courses, we've got cocker Riesling, which is a classic but made with white wine rather than red. So with wild mushrooms and shallots and some rice there. We've got beef bourguignon, a deluxe beef bourguignon at that, with steak, creamy mash, bacon lardons, mushrooms and pearl onions. And bouillabaisse, which we shouldn't really undersell as being a fish soup, because it's not at all. It's a very, very classy.
It's one of the best fish stews in the world, I would say.
I totally agree. And then we've got champignon cassoulet, which is our vegan alternative for mushroom and bean cassoulet with lyonnaise potato. Desserts, we have brioche pamperdou, or our brioche bread and butter pudding, tarte au citron, or lemon tart with chantilly cream, apple and pear tarte tatin with crème anglaise, and our vegan alternative is going to be the Mont Blanc, or our take on a Mont Blanc. Do you want to try some?
Let's try. Let's start with the duck.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you need to get involved.
What's that?
Very good question. And that was that.
We haven't got any knives.
We haven't got... I should have brought a knife, I do apologise. But we haven't got any serving us to actually explain what we're eating. We just grabbed it from the pack.
I am looking forward to this. I'm just going to try a bit of the soup, I think. I'm sure nobody wants to hear me crunching croutons. What's not to like?
It's one of my favourite things to make, is a French onion, because it should be low and slow. Like, it's not a case of trying to brown it as quickly as possible. It's not the point. You're supposed to just do it low and slow.
And then with the cheesy croutons, what's not made nicer with cheese? That's my policy.
Yep.
No, that's delicious.
Yep. Cocker Riesling.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
and you've got mushrooms in it here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try the sauce then.
I mean, it's the notion of slow braising or slow cooking something with alcohol is very much of region, isn't it? In France, they've got to use wine when it comes to alcohol. Well, we wouldn't do that in Britain. We would use beer.
Yeah.
We were using porter
Or cider.
Or cider.
This is a perennial favourite in the restaurant, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, isn't it, with the different chefs, they always tweak it. But it's that depth of flavour, isn't it?
That's lovely.
Long and slow cooking again. This time with potatoes, though. Mashed potatoes. What does French cuisine mean to you? What does it remind you of? Because it's funny, isn't it? Like how people remember things. For example, French cooking to me reminds me of a couple of holidays when I was younger, camping in France. You know, getting the ferry over and camping in France and having these strange, you know, new tastes and stuff. But also, it reminds me of like ready meals from the 80s and 90s, in the sense that, you know, the sauces were all kind of like chicken chasseur.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, and coq au vin, all the kind of ready cooking sauces.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of, it sort of, it's a bit like with Italian food, isn't it? Because it sort of got co-opted by that kind of cooking. People kind of were looking for something new all the time, and I think, you know, they always did a disservice to their product anyway.
Massively. If you look at like instant, I don't know, packet sauces that you'll find in a supermarket, it'll often be a coq au vin or a bourguignon or a chili con carne or an Italian sour sauce and whatnot. It doesn't taste anything like it.
No. Well, I don't know. Things have got better, haven't they? But I mean, but what I mean is, kind of people, you know, there's a fashion for things, isn't there? There's a fashion for ingredients. There's a fashion in style of cookings, and once things are kind of like available readily, even in a poor form, that people move on and try different things, don't they? These classics are all the peasant ones, all the slow cooking ones, which is what, when we started Deli Fonseca, that's how me and Martin described the food, wasn't it? It was like the classic peasant food, picked from around the world, whether it's curries or whether it's this perfect example of this, or the Italian kind of, you know, where you don't necessarily take the prime cuts, you just use good quality, but the lesser cuts that take longer to cook give you amazing flavour, you know, and you know, so it's really nice that we've come back full circle to it, really. I mean,
what do we need to talk about?
Our opening hours, I suppose, just to let you know that, you know, we are open 7 days a week in the shop, and Saturday is the busiest day at the minute, and Sunday was fairly busy as well. So if I would say that, you know, if any, not that we are crowded, but if you really do want the place to yourself, Monday to Wednesday are really nice times to shop. You're literally, you know, especially early in the morning or, you know, later in the afternoon.
Takeaway as well, till 6. Most days a little bit later on a Friday on Saturday. And the roast as well on a Sunday, which were very well received. We had a lot of the army down, which was quite interesting.
Are they all down for the testing?
Yeah, so a lot of the army came down and were quite pleased with the shop. It was obviously something they weren't expecting. But yeah, they were walking around the shop, and then, flat whites, caramel lattes, all the rest of it, and then they were like, "You're doing a roast? I haven't had a decent roast in weeks." So yeah, a lot of them were on the roast, which was good. Candice, is there any other news that we need to talk about on camera? Ow.
No, that the website. We are about to launch our new retail website, so if you keep an eye on it, hopefully it'll be towards the end of this week. Use the existing one, obviously, to order all of this.
Yeah.
But the new one will have much better functionality, and also will have all of our Christmas stuff on it, including various hamper things, all the Christmas kind of gifty stuff, and also our Christmas Day feast, which we have called something along the lines of Merry Mess-Free Christmas. Or
have
something.
a Merry Messless Christmas. Yeah. Deli Fonseca Deli Fonseca Merry Messless Christmas.
So essentially, at the centre of that is a turkey and partridge ballotine, which is basically a boneless. Would you call it a joint?
Yeah.
A joint we've made,
Yeah.
which is wrapped in bacon and a little bit of stuffing and stuff. So what that bacon means is, apart from it being delicious, it keeps the contents nice and moist.
Yeah.
And the idea is that you can order it with all the trimmings per head. So you could send it to your auntie and uncle who can't, who are self-isolating, and literally there'd be no mess. They literally put it in the oven, follow the timings on the top. Everything comes in trays, so they don't even have to do any washing up afterwards. And then that can go upwards to as many diners as you want. So if we're still in lockdown, you might only need it for 4, you might need it for 6. If we come out of lockdown, you might say, add another 4. We've got auntie and uncle, whatever, coming.
Yeah.
So the idea is to kind of you know, give us that flexibility, because we don't know what's happening at the minute, do we? But so we've got that. They can add starters and desserts. That'll be on the new website, along with loads of other treats.
Yeah, and there's no need to worry about leftovers, because Candice had the great idea of adding some recipes in for, using up all the leftovers, which are sometimes even better the next day. So, website we've talked about. We need to talk about next week's menu, which is going to be an interesting take on South American cuisine. So we're going to be South American inspired. So yeah, that should be really fun. We're going to be touching on Brazil, Argentina, Peru, but yeah, there'll be things like a mole on there as well, which I'm really looking forward to, because I can remember back in the day Martin used to do a turkey mole, which was really tasty. And then the week after that, we've got, which is quite topical I suppose at the moment, Old America. We're not talking about politics, but still, we're going to be...
he's gone. No, he's not gone. He's not going. What's happening?
We've got Thanksgiving to look forward to, or a Thanksgiving-inspired menu.
Yeah, so inspired. We're not trying to replicate it. I'm sure any die-hard Americans here will want the full hit with the turkey, you know, with the roast turkey and stuff. But we're just taking it as a theme. So there will be turkey involved, but there'll be other things. Yeah. It's going to be a nice menu.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And then... yeah, we'll get through to Christmas, and I mean, we've touched on the Merry Messless Christmas, which is good. So yeah.
Hampers as well, you know where we are for those. They're coming in. Sooner the better, helps us to work everything out.
And people need to snap up those advent calendars as well, which is just reminding me to get me and Karen one.
So you know, although the restaurant's closed, we're keeping busy, and thank you very much for the support.
Absolutely.
As usual. You have all been fantastic. I think, you know, I'm feeling, even though our business is shut, I'm feeling quite optimistic at the minute, in the sense that, you know, Trump has gone. That's a good thing. The testing in Liverpool, that surely means that we'll come out of lockdown earlier than anywhere else, and that the rates are anyway declining hugely anyway. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's all positive. You know, I'm looking forward to a good Christmas. I think, you know.
I think we all deserve a good Christmas. I think we all deserve to look after ourselves, treat ourselves, spoil ourselves and spoil others as well. Because it's been a hard year, but there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, it's certainly harder for a lot of people, isn't it? So, but yeah.
Well, I suppose we should say au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. See you all in the next video, guys.